Reversibility. Reversibility. Now, this concept may up to now only have brought to mind an old pullover, but it's what I want to talk to you about today, thus reversibility and radioactive waste. Where's the connection, I hear you ask? Well, let me explain. In 2006, France decided on a permanent solution for dealing with the most radioactive waste produced over the last few decades. Parliament, in fact, opted for deep geological disposal and, what's more, decided to open a disposal centre in the country. Or rather, under the country. Deep disposal is easy to understand. Take some radioactive waste, put it in a concrete or steel container, and place it 500 metres underground, surrounded by highly impermeable rock, using ultra-sophisticated handling machines. Once the waste is in place, the site is sealed off using high-performance plugs. The radioactive waste is now safely out of harm's way. At the same time, though, Parliament also insisted that even if this disposal system is intended to be permanent, it should also be reversible, or in other words, flexible enough to leave possible options open for future generations, particularly if they wish to retrieve the waste. Ensuring that deep disposal is reversible is not exactly like turning a pullover inside out, but it isn't that complicated either. It just means that instead of closing the site forever once your waste is safely in place underground, you decide to wait for a while. That way, if you want to retrieve it one day, you'll be able to, provided, of course, that you have conceived handling equipment that can operate in both directions. Regular consultations are held subsequently to give everybody the time to decide what to do next. A decision can be taken to close off the site rapidly and progressively, or to leave it open and to wait until it is filled before closure, or alternatively, to pass through intermediate stages. In other words, you can progress step by step, reflecting at each stage about the best direction to take. You're probably wondering at this point how long you're supposed to carry on step by step like that. Well, the answer is for at least a century. This is because it takes time to deal with all our radioactive waste. And a century is the time we need safely to dispose of all the waste we've produced. Which obviously means that our disposal facilities will need to continue to function for at least 100 years. Which also means that it will be for future generations to take the decisions of tomorrow. It will all depend on the context. Though one day the decision to close will clearly have to be taken. The reversibility of the disposal system cannot last forever. Like me, you will have by now realised that reversibility means giving ourselves time to decide. It's a way of preparing to solve the problem of radioactive waste once and for all. Arrangements are made, but leaving the opportunity to change our minds. Or not.